Well, there we go. Welcome everybody to episode 184. Tonight's sponsor is Ammo Supply Warehouse. They are pretty all right, fellas. I think everybody here in this group is a big fan of Becker.
Huge.
You can use the coupon code TREMIS10 for $10 off any order over $800. Or you could use Fiore's discount code and get an extra $1 off because he always has to outdo me at everything that he does.
Everything?
I don't know. Sounded good.
Yeah. But if you use the code Bulletin, BULLETN 11, you save $11 off of any order over $100.
See? Told you. Had to outdo me.
Yeah.
There was a coattail time, and now I'm riding them.
The question is, was I getting a dig on you, or was I getting a dig into Becker, who is one of the cheapest, most frugal dudes that I know?
Is he?
It's win-win.
Yeah, like, he loses $1 each time he uses mine versus yours.
Everyone should definitely use yours then. Also, tonight's second level sponsor, gold sponsor versus platinum. Fuck, I don't know, whatever we're calling them, is Five Rivers Armament, best gun shop in the Piedmont Plateau. If you buy a Tremis Dynamic Signature rifle and have it transferred there, they will do the transfer for free.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, if you're buying that rifle, you can get 10% off of that with the coupon code TREMIS. That's a pretty substantial savings. And for the duration of 2025, you will get a free adult-themed ejection port cover from Tremis Dynamics with every signature rifle purchased.
Wow.
Whew, yeah, we got all that out of the way.
Do they still come with that sweet card, too?
They do. You get a free rifle class from Tremis Dynamics with the purchase of every rifle. That could be a 1-day class, a 2-day class, a 3-day class, 4-day class, 5-day class, 9-day class. Whatever class is on the schedule that involves using a rifle, you can use the coupon code for.
Jay Gibson, hello, sir.
Who is this?
Who is
sir
this?
Of the sirs?
So, we need somebody put on some Creed.
That's my joke. I invented that before it became a meme.
I have a couple guests with us tonight, as you can see up there in the corners. We have, fellas, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Well, my name is Andrew, and you're supposed to help me with my last name. So my family pronounces it Smersek, but then I asked Sonny how he would pronounce it. He said Smresek. And I'm like, we're probably wrong. So I might start using that. But I own Combat Art Training. I teach classes. I also make stuff that holds other stuff, but not for long.
Oh, you'll be doing it for a while because I just asked you to make me stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Tremis signature rifle delivered to Five Rivers today, as a matter of fact.
That's pretty sweet.
That's sick.
Well, I guess I'll go. I'm Mike. I am the owner of Bulletin and the head trainer at 0 Point Training and an adjunct instructor at Tremis Dynamics. FERPA, adjunct, fellow, whatever we're calling it these days. I help teach over there too. Love training, and I'm trying to make it pretty much apparent in every aspect of my life.
And doing a fine bang-up job you are. Well, what do you guys got coming up in the next? So we'll do like a more full schedule towards the end. But like, what do you got coming up right now that you need people to sign up for? Andrew, go.
All right, so coming up. Not this weekend, but the following weekend at Noah's Place in PA, Brookville, PA. Jay and I are doing Patrolling the Homestead. No ammo is required. You can, of course, bring ammo. We'll probably, at Noah's Place, do some of the IA drills live. But it's a class that's about kind of the philosophy of patrolling, how to plan it. Lots of like coordination stuff. There's a lot of classroom stuff, and when we're doing the patrolling, it's more about like how to like go about the patrol stuff, like taking tactical pauses, going through sills, and different reactions to contact, and some little mini missions. But it's like danger area stuff like that. But yeah, patrolling the homestead in Brookville, PA, and then I got other stuff that we'll get to here in a little bit.
All right, Mr. Fiore, what do you got coming up?
So I have a conflicting class with Andrew and Jay next Sunday. So I will not be in Brookville as much as I would like to be. It turns out that when things get scheduled in Brookville, they do not coordinate with us Easterners.
Yep.
So I have my GPS 1 class going on next Sunday in New Haven, Pennsylvania, at a state park. So it's a 1-day class going through the basics. I mean, there's a lot of basics of land navigation in general and how to use coordinates and what they mean. But it's a lot of button pushing and real world usage of GPS units, specifically the Garmin GPS series or GPS map series or the eTrex series of GPSs. So if people are interested, they should come check that out, because a lot of people get those things and they throw them in a pocket and they're like, oh yeah, I have a GPS, it's fine. And they have no idea what it's capable of and what you can actually do with it and how to actually change things with it, use it in a practical sense. So it's one of my favorite classes to teach, because it's one of those ones where it really helps people figure out like that's that. Okay, I didn't know shit.
You should schedule that in Florida, like for next year, and we could literally do it across the street.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me some dates.
Okay.
Awesome. You should do it in like August.
Fuck no.
I'll do it in an air-conditioned warehouse in August.
Well, as it turns out, I also have a conflicting class on the same weekend on that Saturday. Fish 1, and but if you're listening to this and you haven't already signed up for Fish 1, you should sign up for either patrolling the homestead or the GPS class, because I only have 1 slot left on Fish, and I have a hunch that by the time you're watching this not live, that will be gone, and I won't be able to take you anyway. So I have to miss something I have to miss everything Saturday, but Sunday I have to choose between Andrew and Mike.
Mine's much less of a drive.
That's true.
But I don't have a Jay Gibson with me.
There is that. And I do have some plotting I need to do with Jay, hash out some face-to-face details about Wolverine Warfare. So it might be that.
I don't blame you. Like, even though I did specifically schedule my class around the Tremis schedule.
You did a fine job. It's a shame that other people coming up here that are friends with us didn't do that kind of thing.
See, Jay has a block in the patrolling class where he teaches you land navigation, but it's based off of smell and sound. So you guys probably want to take that one.
I mean, I cannot even tell you how upset I am that you guys are going to be 4 hours away. I'm not heading that direction.
It was on my site.
Me too. It's on your site was on my site, even though I probably had to put it there.
Actually, I need to update Bulletin with some more stuff.
Yes, you do. Every time you make one, you should put it on there.
Yes.
What's great is if you're on Bulletin, you can see if there's any conflicting classes in the same location.
That's true. That is true.
It's almost like it's a handy geographic locator of classes of people that you like, and it gives you all of that information all in one spot.
It's almost like the best tool for people who like training ever devised.
It might be.
I have to admit, I get class information from 2 places: Bulletin and one of my friends sending me a link going, do you want to go do this? for classes that aren't on Bulletin. I don't check anywhere else anymore. I'm just like, I'm ready to schedule a class. Is anybody that I give a fuck about going to be near this area at that time? Nope. I'm doing it. I don't care. If fucking Jeff Cooper comes back from the dead and teaches a class a mile and a half away, if it ain't on Bulletin, I won't know about it.
I'm pretty sure people would be talking about it if Jeff Cooper came back as a zombie and started teaching shit. And
I hope one of you would tell me.
I would probably cancel a class to go see that. just because it's a zombie. It has nothing to do with Jeff Cooper.
I'd get him to sign my book.
Yeah. The principles of
personal defense.
Yep.
He's got a lot of really good lectures on YouTube also, old videos that people can watch. I spent a couple days just listening to those.
Oh, I've never even searched for him on
YouTube. I'll try. I'll do it. I'll post it in the alumni group. There's several real good ones. He'll just be giving a lecture in front of people. They're real good. Actually, I used some of them and I cut them into shorts a year ago or something like that. Yeah.
That's way in my mind. I somehow went, well, YouTube wasn't around when Jeff died, so he's not on YouTube. That's somehow my mind did that. Just like the Kennedy assassination and World War II footage, I'm not on YouTube because YouTube didn't exist.
If only this was here when Jeff Cooper was here.
What is a red cover copy?
I think that's where the cover's red.
Not only did I read the cover, I read the entire inside.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing that a red cover is probably an older pre-Paladin press one.
All 40 paragraphs of that book.
It is. Yeah, it's really one of those ones where you go and it's over.
Yeah. It's great though. It's he's gifted with brevity.
I'm a big fan of people who are really good at distilling things down.
Yes. That's why
Especially when
you guys love Jay so much.
It is why I love Jay.
He'll just grunt and then people will do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I teach something, I'm like, God damn it, I took way too many words to do that. And I only used 4. I can cut that down.
Oh, there we go. It's a late copy. The reprints are blue. Well, my copy is blue.
Mine was as well.
Is anyone still printing it? Because wasn't Paladin Press printing that, and they're out of business.
That's Casey talking right now. Casey, Pete sent me this box of Defiant ammo for us to do ballistics videos on.
Ooh.
So, yeah, my buddy, one of my friends and one of my students, that's Pure Ballistics, Casey Kemp, and he wants to do he was telling me about it. I'm not a huge ballistics nerd, but he was like, these are the types of videos I want to do because the ballistic videos that exist don't show the stuff I want to see. So, what to do through a car door, windshield, stuff like that. And
Pete just sent me some ammo, and it's for a load that isn't for sale yet. And I managed to chronograph all 5 rounds that he sent me and put each one of them into gel, get him all the data I could. Because I had a revolver with a different barrel length than what he had at his house, so I could get him a little extra data. But I was like, man, I wonder what this does through a windshield and a car door. But when he only sends me 5 rounds,
I just wish I had a revolver right now. Fucking Smith & Wesson.
Hey, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Mike earlier. I have a Smith & Wesson revolver, and it works.
Really?
I do not have a revolver yet. I need to fix that.
Don't buy a 642 Performance Center because the trigger will stay pinned to the rear, and then you'll be like, oh, I'll take it through a class. Maybe it'll work itself out, and then it still doesn't work. And you send Smith and Wesson, and they tell you that you owe them $70 for lubing your gun, as if I didn't try that.
Well, if I buy a wheel gun, it'll probably be a Colt Python.
Oh, that requires this. You could. No, this is just an idea. You could tell Tim Morris, I don't even have a revolver. And within moments, you'll own a revolver.
I don't even own a revolver.
That's all I said. And bam, it happened.
I don't hang out with Tim enough in general, but I mean that could be one reason to go visit him again.
Yeah. What was I going to say about that? I don't
That's
know.
all I got to say about that.
What
Get that reference because he's never watched that movie.
movie?
Exactly.
I can't even fucking tell you why I didn't watch it if you don't tell me what one it is.
Forrest Gump.
That's not true. I watched it all the way up to the shrimp boat scene. And then I walked out of the theater.
Which one? The one where Gary Sinise was like riding up on top of the mast?
No, Gary Sinise was on the pier.
Oh!
And he like crawled up out of the water and was like, Lieutenant Fred or whatever the fuck his name is. And then the boat drove by itself in the background. It was the last thing I saw as I looked over my shoulder walking out of the theater.
That's the funniest scene in the whole movie.
I agreed.
That's my boat.
Oh, we get some Ruger fans in here.
Oh, well, apparently Javier is not a Python fan though.
But Iroquois Foreskin's got one.
Does he?
Oh, sorry, he's got a King Cobra.
A King Cobra. Is that the like four? What's bigger than a 457? What's the 44 Magnum?
What the
There's
fuck
a
is
454 and a 500 are both bigger.
Yeah, I don't know fucking revolver calibers.
I think it's pretty simple. If you're going for a revolver, just get a 38 special or a 357. And like if for a martial sense, big animals and shit, then you can worry about other stuff. But
I rented a 44
Garrett,
and it was the worst. I bought a box of 50 and I got through about 15 of them and was like, I'm done.
look, wait a second. You took the Kestrel class and Garrett was there also?
We did. Yeah, Garrett was in the class.
Did you guys know that going in or?
Nope.
I didn't know
Really?
until just now.
Damn.
He's
Yeah, that's something I love.
There were 300 people in the class, so it's easy to miss folks.
Oh, yeah.
He saw my name, shot me a message. He's like, good to see you, buddy. I'm like, what? Yep. Yeah, that was awesome. I was like, oh, who would have thought I'd run into somebody in here? It was an interesting class.
Yeah.
When she said, "Hey, if you have a question, just pipe up and ask it. Unmute yourself and ask the question." And I was like, "Oh, that's very accommodating." And then later went, "That was the worst thing anyone ever could have said."
In a class of 150 nerds. Like I've never seen so many like I guess long range. I think long range shooting is the Venn diagram overlap between like accountants and shooting. Like
yeah. When I used to RSO at Aries, there was like these dudes that were all developing loads for their rifles. They need like the perfect grouping, and they're no shit putting a fan in the chamber to cool down the barrel in between strings of fires. I called them the range nappers because they would take like 5 shots every 20 minutes. I don't know how people have the patience for that, but I guess you got a hobby you like. That's cool. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating like this. I'm trying to figure out some things about long range this year because it's just a discipline I've never done before. And this was a first step into that, and I did not walk away with a ton of new knowledge about how to use the Kestrel, other than, well, if I had a software error on mine, but like hitting the light button twice brings you into weather mode. I was like, this is great. I've already 2 seconds into the presentation, I learned something.
Yep. I played with that a couple times today. Oh, Javier has a 686. I have a 586. Same gun, blued. Yeah, but the Kestrel class was something. I signed up for the advanced class on Friday.
Me too.
And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of the same.
Yeah, there is a class, but not on the schedule. But if you go through the class descriptions from Kestrel, they have a specific class for getting your Kestrel to work with SIG products.
Oh.
So maybe we need to pester Katie to put that on the schedule.
If you can't tell, Andrew, Gary and I chat a bunch, and we wind up buying gear around the same time.
Yeah, I know. That's like watching the format of a lot of the guys' live streams. That's where I thought, like, what I'm gonna do when I do a live stream, I'm gonna rant on the thing I want to rant about, and I'll read the comments at the end. And it was just, I don't know, I found that just flowed well for me. And I think it keeps it interesting too. There's like less pauses, but it also you have to be like weird enough to just rant at a camera without looking at the comments at all.
I can do that when I have something good to talk about, which is about every 15th fucking live stream.
Well, it's also nice too, because like I just thought of like, hey, let's talk about that, the safety versus competency, right? And it's like, because we have these conversations on the phone all the time, so it's like, let's just do that conversation in a live stream, like, because how many times have I been on the phone with either one of you, and it's just like we just talk about that shit. We just are unleashing autism. And I know my wife is back there laughing because she sees it happen every fucking day.
Well, I only talk to like 2 people on the phone, and you're one of them. So my wife does not see it happen every day. She actually goes, "Can't believe you used the telephone." And I was like, well, some of my Mongoloid friends don't text. So
I like the podcast format. Like there's no audience. We like, there's a loose structure as to like, hey, we're gonna cover this and this and this. And we have a discussion topic, but like there's no interaction. Like it's just people talking.
Yeah.
You look so intent.
So
Me?
Javier wants to know, are any of us going to the NRA show in Atlanta? You going to that there, Viking King?
When is it?
I'm guessing this weekend.
No, it can't be this weekend. That's fucking Easter.
Oh.
There's no way the NRA FUDs would give up Palm
April
Sunday or whatever the fuck's happening.
April 24th through 27th.
No.
When we're all busy.
If you would pay attention, Javier, you would know that.
We're busy actually using firearms and learning to do shit rather than going to NRA and talking about learning shit. I don't know.
Wait, when is NRA? Which month?
It is
this month.
April 24th through 27th.
Oh yeah. There's like fucking everybody is teaching.
Yeah.
I am making it a goal to go to SHOT Show next year with you guys, though.
You should.
Perfect. You should. We should. We got other people we're trying to drag around to go to it too. Matt White.
That's also why I'm posting a lot of YouTube videos right now, is I want to go there and be like, hey, I got a lot of YouTube videos out there and a bunch of people watching me. You should
Give
work
me
with
free stuff.
Yeah. I need stuff.
They do that anyway.
Channel.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how legitimate your tube is.
It matters how well you can talk to people in person.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone's ever asked me anything about any of my social media channels at
Really?
SHOT Show. And I know I'm not popular enough that they just know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible maybe they mistake me for Grand Thumb.
Well, his arms are the size of your calves, so I guess if you invert him,
I could be him.
yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the thing.
All right, which thing we want to talk about?
The thing at the bottom of the screen, people.
Oh yeah, that thing. There's a big thing coming up.
So, the Combat Arts Summit it's in Gray, Kentucky, but it's right next to Corbin, Kentucky. That's why I put it there. So you actually have a town you recognize. But that is live. You can go to the website, check out all the people that are going to be there. Of course, the 3 people on your screen will be there. So Tremis will be there. 0 Point Training / Bulletin will be there. Tactical Response will be there. Sonny Physikas will be there.
Wow.
Student of the Gun. He just like yesterday, I think, confirmed that he'll be there. And I actually just, while we were talking, updated my website with the link they wanted. And then Zach Bush, Definitive Training Solutions. Calvin the Limb with Pace Training Initiative. He's actually working on a website, thank God. Aaron Little, Performance Edge.
Oh.
Jay Gibson, the Nightmare Gibson from Prelectus Training and Tactical Response. Lewis, Elcar Concepts and Tactical Response. Jerry Gouge, Prepared Patriot. Chuck Peoples, Homestead Medical. Iron Forge Consulting, Jonathan Aldridge will be there. And then Jacob Peterson, Exodus Knife and Tool. So, way it's going to work, guys, there's going to be 4 locations. And sometimes, maybe the whole time, because I have to finalize the schedule, there'll be a class going on in each of the 4 locations. So there's the range, there is the classroom, there's going to be an area with mats, and also for force on force. So hand-to-hand stuff and force on force. I automatically put Sonny over there. I haven't even talked to him, but I assumed. And then there's going to be a wooded area where first person to say they wanted to do stuff in there was Gary. He's going to be doing ambushing stuff. And so, like any of those trainers, if you have trained with them before, they all have a discount code that gets you $100 off. Also, you help that instructor when you sign up with their discount code because they get a bonus when you use it. So, whichever one that gives it to you, go ahead and use it, and you're helping them out, and it's also helping you out. I'm pretty sure I gotta see if we can camp on site. We did get a discount at a local hotel, but it's gonna be sweet. I really like that facility. It's owned by Rob and Bobo, and they're quality driven students that are just trying to learn more, and that's kind of why they built it. But they got a nice range, nice classroom, places for instructors to stay. So even people that are watching this in the future or something, if you're looking for a place to teach at, hit up Robert over at Taprack Ridge. And so I'm excited because I literally just wanted to make the thing that I would want to go do. And looking at how I have the schedule already, I'm like, damn, myself, I would go to this 3 times in a year and just take different classes the whole time. So Mike is going to be doing radio stuff, which is the other point of it too, is it's not supposed to be all shooting stuff. So let me pull up the website again. Pistol, rifle, shotgun, of course, hand-to-hand stuff, knife work, medical, radio, ambush, medical, force on force, regular force on force, shooting on the move, survival fire and bushcraft, dry fire, low light live fire, low light medical, low light force on force, flashlight lecture, active shooter lecture. And that's just what I have on the list so far. I'm waiting on Student of the Gun to get back to me with what they want to teach. Actually, they may have sent that in the email that I just got. But there's, going to be a very full schedule. And one thing, too, is if like you're like, oh, shit, I've only ever had a pistol class. Dude, perfect opportunity for you to go get your toes in the water and start learning about some more stuff. Like, if you think about like with the people we have teaching, and the things they're covering, like they're, it's not meant to be like total beginner level everything, because that's like a thing I see at lots of events like this where it's like it's always back to basics, and that's not necessarily what I want. But if you were like new to medical, you're gonna get like a whole bunch of shit that's gonna push you in the correct direction. If you're new to radio stuff, it's gonna push you in the correct direction. So kind of like this is like the cheat code event to getting exposed to many different things, and some things that like how long did it take most people to appreciate why they need a radio, like, or why they need medical? I mean, there's lots of guys who've done several classes, have never done anything medical related, or maybe you're a guy who's never gotten to do force on force yet. So big exposure to all that stuff, and a chance to meet many of the instructors you have maybe heard of and just not gotten a chance to train with. Well, that's why I'm bringing them all to one location. And then, so the breakdown of the 2 days is it's going to be September 27th and 28th, of course, but it's going to be morning, afternoon, and low light class, all 4-hour blocks. There'll be little mini blocks in between. So like, for instance, I want to do a dry fire pistol block, and other instructors can hop into. I'm totally cool with that. But that's like one thing I think, people are told to dry fire, but it's like, okay, what do I do? So kind of giving people more direction. But sorry, I trailed off too long. But morning, afternoon, low light, 4-hour blocks the first day. Second day, morning and afternoon, 2 4-hour blocks. And then at the end of it, we're going to do something really awesome. And that is, we're going to have a raffle, and all the proceeds are going to go towards Kevin Dixie's Aiming for Truth Foundation. And that's where he is mentoring kids that need it. I'm going to try to get Kevin Dixie to do a good video specifically for the summit if he can't make it, but also one that I can just share on YouTube.
Are we, because I don't know if I've talked to you about this. Are we trying to get some people to donate some things for the raffle? Is it a raffle of a grand prize, or is it a bunch of small raffles? Like, what's the? I
was thinking we do it just like you did at the muster. I thought that worked great, where people can put tickets towards the things they want. But yeah, we're looking for people, companies to donate stuff, and basically it's like, if they don't, you don't support what Kevin's doing, you don't want these kids to have a good life.
Well, in case anybody that is watching this happens to work for a company and wants to donate, you should reach out to Andrew. And if you don't know how to get a hold of Andrew, and you know how to get hold of either Mike or I, if one of the two of us brought you over to this live stream, you can reach out to us and we'll put you in touch with Andrew. Just saying, if you happen to work for like Glock or something and you're a big fan, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. That'd be cool to bring in some people, get some stuff, for some giveaways.
Stuff is good.
Stuff and things. People love stuff and things.
I think I might do it then. I'm going to sell like all of my surplus gear. I took all the stuff that I'm not really using anymore and just put it in a couple bins back there. And I think I'm going to sell all that shit like dirt cheap at the summit, just like to give it to people who will actually use it.
You should have a tactical
swap meet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, we could put that at the end of it too. Or should we do that the night before?
Somewhere in there, you should have a tactical swap meet because that's people love to sell shit.
And then also Friday, the day before the summit at Taprack Ridge, so September 26th, we're gonna be running Art of the Bad Guy because this weekend did not work out for us. So, so we're gonna run that the day before, and that's where there's like we give each person different roles. There's, of course, a good guy has to stop the bad guy. That's his job. Then bystanders have different roles. Like, hey, you're gonna film stuff. Hey, you're gonna scream and freak out. Hey, you're gonna just do something. And then bad guys have different roles, like steal Mike's wallet, steal that guy's baby, be an active shooter, different stuff like that. So kind of like imagine a scenario-based class, but the bad guy is a student trying to be the best bad guy he can, and he has to figure out how to do it on his own.
It'll be glorious.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about that particular Force on Force class? I had a good friend of mine come across the book apparently like last week, and he sent it to me from 2005. Gabe Suarez, Force on Force gunfight training.
Have you read that yet?
It came today, so no. I know Mike's like, are you sure? But I was busy. I had a class today, but I thumbed it open and I bookmarked it because the first thing I saw was, there's like the intro shit. So like page, there's like a bunch of XXXVII shit. And then page 1, the first caption says, the reality and violence of a real street fight cannot be duplicated on the firing range with any target system or any drill. And I was like, I already like this book. And I'm already a fan of Gabe. Win-win. It is not the book of the week, however, because it's out of print.
When does that ever stop you?
I know, like the last fucking month, every book I put on book of the week's been out of print. So I'm not even trying to put this one up there.
You should do book reviews, like for real, because you said you're really fast at reading. So do a book review and just spark notes the books for us.
Like, well, I do book reviews and then tell you what ones you should fucking buy. There's that.
Yeah. No. Do the thing I said. Oh, I don't know how to make the video. I don't make videos that often, but I'm really good at reading. I'm Gary. Just do the book reviews.
Well, my intent is to give you 52 books this year that you should go get and read. And that's a lot of videos to make like a review of, when I could just say on the live shot, hey, this is the book of the week. This is what I like about it. If that interests you, buy the fucking book. I have a book of the week for this week as well.
Yeah, but we tell people to do lots of stuff. Do they do it?
No, I shouldn't have to do it for them.
You're not doing it for them. You're just like giving a review, just like a spark notes of it,
You should just make books on tape, or like
that would be good.
Read the whole book to somebody else.
If you just read the bitch out loud, that'd be great too.
And then comment on it as you're reading it.
Well, I certainly couldn't read it out loud the way that I normally read a book for myself. It turns out I have some sort of condition that it would not work for reading aloud.
Yeah, Garrett said he's read that. That's something I like about Garrett too, is he trains a fuck ton, and he also does a lot of reading, like very dedicated to the craft.
Garrett is prolific
at
being a student.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I have a new nickname for Garrett. I don't know if I even told him this, but it's Submachine Garrett, because he runs his pistol like a fucking submachine gun. Like, have you guys seen him shoot?
Not lately.
My first time meeting him, I was like, holy shit. Like, how do you make your finger move that fast? And actually, Garrett's going to be there at Pistol Cheat Codes, which I've officially changed the name to just Pistol Cheat Codes. I'm running that the day before Alumni Weekend in Camden. He's going to be there, so I'm excited for that.
When's Alumni this year?
July, mid July, I think 12th and 13th, if I remember correctly. But I'd have to look at my calendar. They just put it on their website today too. I had to remind Joey because apparently he wants me to have to sell feet pics for money. Maybe that's so he can buy them. Yes, July 12th.
There's a lot of weird, like, this is like a foot fetish thing with people asking me to read books to them. Not happening.
Are you going to be down there for the Alumni Weekend too, Andrew?
Yeah. I'm gonna teach the day before, and then I'll be at Alumni. So
Nice.
yeah, anyone else who's going, if you want to split a Airbnb or something, let me know. Might do that.
I just got a phone call from Dave Biggers. I ignored it for you people.
You should just put him on.
Yeah, be like, Dave,
Put him on live and don't tell him. And ask him really personal stuff.
I am a big fan
who's
of
your
answering
barber?
the phone when he calls when I'm driving, and not telling him that my wife is in the car with me. I just let him go for a while, and then there's these apologies that just pour forth. Ma'am, I am going to apologize. I don't even know what all I said.
The funny thing is, because my first time meeting him and training with him was up there with you guys and taking the red zone, but it was like all the Dave Biggers stories I had heard. Like whenever they do impersonation of his voice, I was like, yeah, that's exactly on point. My favorite one is still the sound is omnipresent. That Jay tells.
I love how TJ can always tell that it's band practice day. He's the only one that notices the background noise.
I don't even hear it. So
Yeah, I can't either.
Yes, the band Midsummer is practicing downstairs in the Bulletin studio.
Now, did they copy that name from the horror movie?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay,
Because
there's a movie called Midsommar.
no, they're not clever with how they named it. They just named it Midsummer. Yeah, they're getting like big. It's weird. Like Jamie had
Really?
to go on a photo shoot yesterday, like for a promo photo shoot for their band.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I'm not threatened by her success at all. Now I just need to get famous as a trainer, and yeah, that's never gonna happen.
You can pull an Andy Sanford and just like play and sing at the end of class. You'd be
Somebody
like,
get me an accordion right now.
I know you all are here to listen to a seminar about something tactical, but someone hand me an accordion.
TJ, you're bringing your guitar next time? Good.
I want to jam with TJ.
Yeah, we should do tactical jam night.
Yes.
And that won't have anything to do with eating sugary preserves. It'll just be music.
I won't be there, and I'll be jelly. I'll be jelly of the jam.
That's the best dad joke I've ever heard you do. I was thinking until I realized that this Sunday is Easter. I was tempted to throw out like a notice to be like, hey, anybody who wants to come hang out on Sunday, we could do like a painting, like rattle can party.
Oh,
We wound up not having any classes this weekend. I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff that I can rattle can. But then I realized that no one's going to come hang out on Easter.
if you rattle can anything, film it because fucking those videos do well.
I need to
I did a
rattle
series.
this Condor plate carrier.
If you paint loaded magazines, you'll infuriate the internet.
Well, you could do it like Tim did and paint right over the top 2 rounds.
Well, see, I did a video where I painted like 20 AR mags they're like fighting mags. There's like, that's all they're for. These are getting set aside. So they're loaded. And I just showed me painting them. It's the best performing video I did. It's like 4 million views. But then everyone freaked out and that I painted it when there were rounds in there. They're like, now they're going to jam and blah, blah, blah. And so I want to do another video where I actually do spray paint right onto the rounds and see if they shoot. Well, I didn't spray paint the fucking top.
I assumed you didn't. However, I will say this. Tim did. And in day 3 carbine, we had 2 AKs that didn't work, and one of them was Tim's. I don't know if those things are related to each other, but there were only 3 AKs in class, and 2 of them didn't work.
Well, you don't want to get spotted by that shiny jacket on the top of the round.
Well, if you put the bullet up in your mag pouches, I can see where that would be a problem.
It could be.
I think that's for speed reloads. So, like, when it runs empty, you can just rock it right on the pouch.
I'm actually not against the idea of having bullets up with AK mags in a pouch because it's like they're so long and weird to get out anyways that it's like I don't think it's the end of the world even,
There's an argument for anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the whole absolutist culture of like this is the only way it can be done. No. We've seen that so many times, but it's also okay to have one where you're like, well, that's silly, or like I've tried that a bunch of times and I'm just not a fan of it, but it exists, and somebody out there may find that more useful. But
well, I have found
really seem to have much.
When you come to the absolutism, generally speaking, when there is an absolute way to do something, it's usually bullshit. When there is an absolute way to not do something, it's usually spot on.
Yeah.
Like if you have to swim across this body of water, someone might say, oh, well, you should absolutely breaststroke. You could side stroke, you could freestyle, whatever. But when someone says you absolutely should not do it in a lead suit.
Yeah, that guy's just a really bad swimmer. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's Calvin.
All right. So I got a question. What's something in like the past couple years? Well, it doesn't have to be past couple years, but that would be good. Just something that like you were pretty absolute on, or you were like, this is the way to do it, that you have since changed your mind on.
Appendix carry.
Okay, go ahead.
I hated it.
Why?
Well, personally, since my belt line and my reproductive organs are so close to each other, I struggled with comfort of being able to have my legs bent and not have my little guy poked by a piece of steel or kydex. That was from the personal side. From the looking at it in general side, I saw so many people carry appendix in a way that was equivalent to open carry that I was like, this is terrible. Like none of you are remotely concealing anything. I could hide a fucking rifle in the amount of space you have printing all over up to your fucking nipples. But I have found the right gear to make it work for me. And I have seen people try not to carry a Glock 17L with an X300 and a T or a aim point comp M3 on top, and they've shrunk some of their gear too. And I'm like, hey, all of a sudden your gun disappears. So I've changed my opinion on it based around making it work versus what I had seen 10 years ago.
Mm.
All right, Mike.
The one that's top of mind for me is all magazines go to the ground.
Mhm.
Like that was, and I have an appreciation for the methodology of all magazines go to the ground. Like that's how I initially taught the kind of methodology of like teaching somebody that one simple way of doing it as a default. I do find it useful that is my default of, hey, if everything goes to shit, I don't care about that magazine goes to the ground, put the new one in. But when I started really expanding beyond the kind of like dogmatic approach of like, hey, I got to approach doing the gun stuff in this way because the person who taught me to do it this way says it always needs to be this way. And that could be expanded to a few different things. Once I started, opening my mind to other ways of approaching it, a lot of holes were poked into that theory of, well, is that really going to be the best way to serve yourself if shit really does happen? Because in certain situations, a quote unquote tactical reload is far more likely to be performed than an emergency reload where a magazine goes to the ground, right? So it's not to say that I don't, like, as a teacher in 0 Point, I still teach first and foremost, hey, all magazines go to the ground, but I don't say they always all have to go to the ground. It's not an absolutist thing. It's just, hey, this is the first thing we're going to learn. And then down the line, you're going to learn this other thing too. Because that is actually more likely to be needed than the emergency reload. So I was an absolutist on it. I was like, okay, I'm the tactical response methodology. Like I'm a student of that system, and eventually got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna subscribe to that anymore because I find that tactical reloads, especially with rifles, they don't exist in real life. Like emergency reloads with rifles are very few and far between from people who have actually experienced firefights or actually had to employ a rifle in any type of use case. So if we're more likely to experience things that would require proactive reloads, then that should be the focus of the training, and it should have more emphasis and it should not be shunned away as all magazines go to the ground. Like you just can't, you can't ignore it because it needs to be taught. That's my thing. Like that I mean, that's happened to me a bunch of ways on a bunch of different topics, but that's the one that always comes up in terms of like something that I used to be very like, it all has to be this way, and now it's definitely not.
It is I agree with you completely. And like it has such it has a very solid place in in the training world, because if you only know one thing, that's the one to know. But if you can know two things, well, then you should use whichever one is most appropriate. And most of us at some point can learn a second thing. Like there's that. It reminds me of like the old point shooting bit from like the 19 teens when Fairburn and Sykes guys went to, I want to say it was Shanghai, and they were told, I need you to teach all these cops how to shoot. Here's 60 rounds of ammo. They go to work in 3 hours and they will be in a gunfight tonight. Go. And they taught them point shooting. And they said, well, you're going to need to know or I got to teach you one thing in the next 3 hours. I'm going to teach you this because that can work. And if you survive tonight, maybe tomorrow we can learn how to use the little nubs on the top of the gun. But same principle. Like, hey, this one thing will work, so let's do that. And we do grow, and at some point go, man, now I know like 12 things. 5 of those are pretty good. I'm just going to use whatever one is needed at the moment.
I find that the absolutist culture or the absolutist approach to training, like this, you always have to do this, is not necessarily rooted in the other thing being wrong. It's rooted in a lack of faith in students. Honestly, like it's rooted in I don't have the ability to teach them this in the amount of time that I have them, or they don't have the time to devote into this subject that I want them to for this to be effective. So I'm going to say that we shouldn't do this ever. And
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just saying, like, I try to take it a method or a mindset of, I think people are far more capable of what we give them credit for.
The thing and maybe it's just because I see it because that's what I look for a lot. You know, I really like instructors that are students first, you know, that are still taking lots of classes. There's several like nitpicky stuff that like I'll do videos on, but it's a thing I'll see that like instructors, it's like they're stuck in the lane of training philosophy, like strictly military, strictly LE, you know, or strictly competition stuff. And they don't go outside of that at all. And maybe even don't take any classes anymore. Right. So it's like, they haven't thought outside of that box that they're in. And so it could be like putting on AR on safety during a reload, like it has to happen. Right. And the one that really drives me nuts is like, you put it on safe during a malfunction. And like, I literally will see a video of an SF guy going, all right, it's firing, and then click, put the safety on. And I'm like, what? It doesn't fucking go on when it clicks. Like, think about it. It doesn't, you know? The absolutism. And that's actually something that like, for me, like I was always trying to learn new stuff, but like having conversations with Mike, and that was something that he talks about a lot is absolutism. And I was like, that got me thinking more about that. And then thinking about what I was more absolute about, and that kind of shifted my perspective too. So thank you, Mike.
Oh, you're welcome. I can trace that back to Sonny, like 100%. Like being exposed to the way that he thinks, that changed my, you know, it made me start thinking of things as sacred cows, as things that are meant to be questioned. So like that's a lot of my training philosophy and the way that I approach being a student is very much rooted in like Sonny showing like just how, you know, how bullshit things can be. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that if you believe in them like they're gospel, then you haven't put enough thought into it to really own it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of ego that maintains that stuff too. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things that everyone is constantly trying to fight is ego, like from others, but also within ourselves. And sometimes we don't realize it's our own ego holding us back.
Yeah.
Now, something that you guys changed my mind with was switching hands with a rifle. And once you showed me like movement with it, I was like, oh fuck, I'm retarded. I should have I never even thought about that, you know. And I was like, all right, that's huge. And now that's like one of the things I chase most. Like I spent a week in my yard. Like I bought $1,000 airsoft rifle, or I put $1,000 into it after everything. And then I shot with it every morning for a week, 3,000 BBs, you know. And that was dedicated to just getting good at switching hands with a rifle.
That's how I should get some time in on this Unit 4 gun back here.
Yeah. Is that good for shooting on the move, or does the wind like throw it like crazy?
It works better than airsoft does.
Okay.
Not as good as UTM, but it's incredibly slower than UTM. UTM is like 410 feet a second. This is like 350. So UTM has the advantage that it gets there so fast that the wind doesn't have as much time to affect it. But the rounds for this weigh a lot more than airsoft rounds. They weigh more than UTM rounds too. So in that aspect, the wind has less effect on it. But yeah, it's pretty solid for a let's see, wouldn't be really dry practice, moist practice, damp practice.
I would imagine they're much more expensive though than
more expensive than airsoft, yes. Way less than everything else.
Yeah.
The non-marking rounds are 6 cents a trigger press.
So there's dry practice, then damp practice is with a non-lethal projectile pressing the trigger, and then with a loaded gun at home, moist practice. And then with a loaded gun in public, then wet practice.
Wet practice.
Until you get caught.
Is there a drippy practice? Like a
Ew, no.
Ew, bro.
Moist.
Ew. Tom, he wants to see if gel blasters have training merit. Everything could have training merit.
If you use gel blasters against somebody else, it will have training merit.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, paintball has training merit. Like,
yeah,
people. Ooh, there's a sacred cow you can't fucking.
Well, no, it's a huge one. Like I did a live stream with one of my students who does competition. We talked about the good and bad of competition shooting, and one of the things I brought up was like, all right, if people consider competition shooting training, why isn't paintball and airsoft also considered that?
It absolutely is.
Yeah,
I would say that a true milsim or combat oriented airsoft like event is probably far more training value than the trigger presses that somebody will get at a USPSA competition.
The best I have ever seen someone, it's something so simple, going from kneeling to standing, was a paintballer. I saw a video. The dude was just popping up. Like, it was like he didn't put his foot underneath him and push up. He sprung into position and he would go pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, dude, like working cover as a skill, like being able to do that was so fucking impressive.
Yeah, I saw some video recently of an indoor paintball guy who was using cover so fluidly. Like I don't know how he moved. Like his hips like never left the plane of like 4 inches off the ground, and his legs would just move around his hips. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But I'm like, and of course he's like 13, so like he has no cartilage or like no like old person, you know, linkages. Like he's just smooth, like running around, diving, sliding around things on his knees. And I'm like, oh, I'll never achieve that. But
the guy who was literally sliding room to room and pushing off walls.
Oh yeah, he's like kicking off of walls, shooting one place, kicking off the other. I'm like,
beast.
I mean, it's very gamey, like some of that stuff, but it's really interesting to see somebody approach a tactical situation in a non-standard way that is not just like, hey, I'm going to stand here and, you know, shoot some prescribed like course of fire. Like that's not, it doesn't teach you to think.
Like competition, those dudes that go play paintball and the airsoft events, all they did was said, well, we have a different set of parameters to work with inside, and now we need to solve a problem. I think the key is you need to pick the things out of those that will help. That we need to pick those things out that will help us with our problems.
Oh yeah,
and our problems generally don't have many parameters. You know, when it's life or death, the parameters are, well, whatever fucking works, I'm happy with. Admittedly, depending on, you know, what part of the world you're in, you may have a different set of rules you morally are going to abide by. But you don't have foot fault lines and whatever crazy rules are in airsoft. It's all like, oh, fuck, if I win and it works, yay, go me. But being smart enough to go, hey, the better I can run the gun, the less I'm going to miss. So maybe I can learn some of the tips and tricks that the competition guys do. And the way I use cover in paintball, that may help me use cover out at the Quickie Mart. The problem is some people get really good at one of those things, and then they just apply that across the board and are like, oh, well, if it doesn't exist in paintball, I'm not doing it. Or if it doesn't exist in competition USPSA, I'm not doing it. Instead of going, ooh, I can pick some parts out of all these, and they can help me be more well-rounded.
Oh yeah, that's the most fun part of training, honestly, is when you start linking. Like, oh, this is like this thing, and then you can create different analogies. And I don't know, that's my favorite part of teaching, honestly, is like finding those analogies that help students like understand shit. Like I often pull shared like experiences that I learned from being a pilot into navigational training or into trigger press, like any type of connections that you can make to help people better comprehend and understand a subject or tie things together is like, that's the best part. That's the benefit of going out there and getting all this information in our brains, is being able to actually pull it together and synthesize it.
So Tony Gallo says, I could see Gary bouncing around like Sonic the Hedgehog. Mike can attest, because Mike and I have gone for fun and played paintball a number of times. And he will tell you that bouncing around like Sonic the Hedgehog, not remotely at all. Nope. Just that's not me.
Nope.
It would be completely the opposite side of that, and to good effect.
Mm-hmm.
What about in your speedball days?
We the first time a bunch of us went out for, I think it was like Benjamin's 13th birthday. There must have been 8 or 9 of us, like of the group that went out, and I don't think I wasn't out of breath at any point during the day, and it's not because I have good cardio. I was just very patient and shot an ass fuck ton of people.
What about when you played professionally?
I was a little faster in those days, but I was pretty patient then as well. Okay. For everyone's favorite sports analogies, I was the running back that kind of waited for the opening in the line versus the guy who just fucking darted through, the tiniest of openings and went, I'll get by on physical skill. I went more with cerebral.
Yeah, something else that I've been thinking about lately too is it's kind of like I've been seeing a lot of people kind of think of like training as like get good at shooting, then room clearing, team based. It's kind of like the culmination. It's like those two things, and I think there's a lot more to work on. Like you've got oh hell, I'm forgetting the name. The force unforced class you have. It's something pistol, not Adeptus. It's the
diagnostics.
Diagnostics. That's it. That word I can't think of. But it's like there's a huge other space of like where your gunfights could possibly be, right? And it's not necessarily in a team-based shoot house environment, and also like not many people have that. And even like if you got your whole crew in PA, but if you guys were going to be doing room clearing like that, it's very much like the world has gone to shit. You need cans of soup, like,
and there was soup in that building.
Yeah, Lewis came up with that. He called it CQ being for soup. I was like, that's awesome. But it's like there could be an emergency where you get guys together and do that, but overall, it's like it's very like everything is on your own, and and it kind of clicked with me when I was editing the video, the interview I did with Eric from Barrel and Hatchet, when he's like, you have to do force on force, you got to stay up to date on tactics, and I was like, what? And I was like, but he was thinking team based, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I was talking about. Like, that's cool, take those classes. There's real good shit you can learn from them. You guys both really enjoyed the Ryan classes. But it's like the force on force can be so much more than that, like science of dynamic violence or pistol diagnostics, Adeptus pistol, the fight, like there's so much more than that. And I think for a lot of people too, like airsoft or paintball would be a great exposure to that, because it's like, thinking about just in the shooting people side, ambushing them on the, defeating their cover by coming out somewhere where they're not expecting it, being able to like kind of read that situation, like kind of like boxers or MMA fighters or jujitsu guys, how it's like, yeah, they're trying to hurt the other person, but they're also reading that person and playing off of them and trying not to telegraph what they're about to do throughout it. Like there's a whole in-depth thing about that I feel like guys will get a lot out of, of course, taking the classes, but also just going out playing paintball or playing airsoft, like I'll bet I'd like to actually you should interview TJ on that, because he does that,
Yeah. TJ definitely goes out and does some Milsim stuff. Yeah, they're those guys, they know what they're doing. Like there's a lot of benefit to be drawn from that world. Like from people who think about confronting others and tactically moving as a team to defeat an opponent that is also thinking and trying to quote unquote kill you, is like, why wouldn't you value that? Why wouldn't you take what you can out of that? I think people who just push it away and say, well, that's just playing, they're really not they're not being true to themselves, honestly.
I've seen extremely skilled shooters get shot in the face by my 13-year-old brother, so, and I'm one of them. It's like and I think that kind of goes back to the ego thing too, like,
oh, for sure.
I'm like, nah, I don't need to do that because I do the cool guy stuff and I carry a real gun or whatever,
Ignorance plays a huge factor in it too, and not ignorance in the negative sense, just ignorance as in I don't know what I don't know. So like, okay, there's an aspect of closed-mindedness to that as well, but sometimes people just don't get exposed to the value, which is, I mean, and then at the end of the day, that's our goal, right? As trainers, is to expose people to the value that knowledge brings. So, I mean, part of it is, that's why it's great to have these discussions, to have this platform, for us to have these discussions with other trainers, because that's what gets the word out there about, kind of showing people that there is value in things that aren't just, the low hanging fruit in front of them. The tropes of gun training, like putting holes in paper. I'm not saying there isn't value in accuracy and speed training, but that's low hanging fruit. That's like easy dopamine trip. It's masturbation.
And one of the big things I've been finding too, that like with pistol cheat codes, like it's a different class even than when you guys were there, but like when you look at people's technique that they've developed in shooting, it's all towards static. Like competition shooters lock out, get a good stance, or they'll be shooting on the move, but it's like I can literally have a grandma walking next to you at the same speed, so like looking at TJ's comment, gun guys do real bad, referring to airsoft. Think about how hard it is to even get a student to move while they're drawing, reloading, etc. Right? And even like we did Jaegerfest, and they had shot timers that were triggered off a laser. So basically, laser would shine on the corner of the target. That means begin shooting. Right? There's more to it, but that's the basic of it. It gave people the same heebie-jeebies that they got when they first used a shot timer, right? Where it's like, oh, I'll be nervous, right? And even like myself and other guys that I know have taken a shit ton of classes, I saw everyone going for gun before starting the movement, and the drill actually required movement because like the targets were lined up in such a way where you're supposed to create a safe angle so you don't shoot the no shoots and stuff like that. And it was like everyone going for gun before moving feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where the drills I've sent you guys, the shot timer ones, they're kind of like if you, at least the two-handed one, if you don't move your feet in at first thing, like you're going to fail the drill.
Yeah, I think the pops in my head. Was it day 3 rifle where we went down to Florida and
Yep.
and Jerry and Jay were down there, and like it was the wet weekend last year.
Jerry was there for pistol the year before.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember which one. Yeah, I think it was.
Jay was there for rifle. They were not there at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, it was the one where Jerry was there, and like I remember that weekend we were working a lot of movement stuff, and that was when it dawned on me. And like you, from the instructor side, you learn so much too. Like that's how I've progressed in the last few years as a student, is by, it's totally self-serving doing the teaching thing, because I learn as a teacher. Like I learn, like things solidify in my brain better, and like the movement stuff of like moving your feet before going for the gun or doing it simultaneously, whatever you want to call it, but not getting caught into all right, I'm going to address the target and I'm going to orient my body to it. I'm going to draw the gun, bring the gun out, take care of that first, and then figure out where do I need to go. Like that, you have to, like, you see people doing it and go, oh, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm going to train my brain, or try to address the movement or address the tactics first of, I'm going to find a more advantageous position, move there, and while I'm doing that, shortcut all the other shit. But there is, and that's another thing where people get hung up too. It's like, mindset, tactics, skill, and gear. Like, yeah, that tactics is an important thing, because, if you're not improving your position, that's going to get you better off in the long run than like just how fast I can get that gun out.
Yeah. And I think it's a cultural thing, of course, because it's like what people see on the internet or whatever, and what they've, thought because of what they're told. But it's like, because the way I teach the draw and the reload, right? I go like, okay, like for the draw, I'll be like, guys pointing a gun at you, what do you need to do? And they'll be like, draw my gun. And I'm like, okay, hang on. He's pointing and shooting at you. What do you need to do? And they're like, draw my gun. I'm like, okay. And trying to get them to just like come up with the phrase move, or like think like this is not a good spot, right? And there's many different little things I do for that, but it's like it's just funny that it's not, it's the logical thing is to move, and that's like the other thing I started saying is tactics are just logic. It's just like
well, it's weird. Like, how many times has a gun guy realized, oh, I'm about to get hit by a car, and you know what they didn't do? Draw their gun. Well, if I shoot the driver, and if I got a 0.6 second draw, I can kill the driver before he runs me over. No, they move their feet, almost like they don't have to think about
it.
Move is good. Yes. As Jay Gibson would say, let the feet.
Mark Curtis asked, what was the big Force on Force event called that here James talk about? Probably the NTI, National
Yes.
Tactical Invitational. That was down here in PA, like southern PA, down below me for a bunch of years. But it petered out right about the time I managed to ingratiate myself with the right amount of people to get an invite. So when I got told, yeah, I'll make sure next year you get invited to the invitational, there was never a next year.
Yeah, now you have to go to the Combat Arts Summit in Corbin, Kentucky, September 27th through 28th.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I still got to do the book of the week, fellas.
Oh yeah. Hey, did you
We
read
alluded to it and got sidetracked.
Did you read Across the Fence or Gorillas in the Mist yet?
I'm halfway through Gorillas in the Mist. I put it in my truck as when I'm sitting in the car, I need to read book.
You like it?
I finished the one that was in there. Yep. It's so far so good.
Good.
And I read Across the Fence some years back.
Oh, okay.
Let me copy so I can give the link out.
Are you talking about the movie with?
Looks like Tom's going to be at the summit now.
Nice.
Good.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, I went all these years without. I still have not met Tom, and I'll get to see him twice this year.
Oh, that was another thing I changed my mind on was slings, and Tom's whole thing actually had something to do with it. But like, my most logical thing is it's just like I just prefer not to wear it now. I get the way you guys set yours up, but I just like truck gun sling tight to the gun. Just it's there for when you need a sling. And the thing I thought about was like when I put this sling on, what am I prioritizing? Am I prioritizing the use of my rifle or something else?
Oh, you're prioritizing being able to crank your hog. You need both hands for that. 6-finger handy. So let me come up here to paste. All right, book of the week by Matthew Luke. Small Unit Tactics. It is a well illustrated and the pictures are good book on small unit tactics. If it is a subject that interests you, it is $3 on Kindle. It's more for the paperback, obviously.
What's the gist of it? Like, does it have a particular focus in terms of small unit tactics? Because that's a pretty broad category.
It is a pretty, I would call it the generalization of small unit tactics. Hits different points. It's not like 400 pages on patrolling, but there's patrolling in it. But what I like about it is it's not a military manual that is, strangely enough, those are meant to be read by people who need waivers to get in the Marine Corps. And they're written so poorly that people who read well struggle with them. And the illustrations in those usually suck dick. So like the advantage of this one, it's $3, which costs less than a Ranger handbook. The pictures are okay, but the diagrams are outstanding. And it's written by people who obviously have written a book before, unlike military manuals. So for the $3 that you get a really good general overview of things you might do in a small team, like 4 to 8 people. That is super easy to understand.
Seems like it would be a useful book to read, say, if you're taking a class in the next month or so about small unit tactics in the woods.
Does seem like it could be useful. Maybe like Wolverine Warfare.
I was just thinking maybe a class like that
might come in handy.
Yeah.
If you would like the unnamed guest instructor to not yell at you, you might want to read the book a couple of times.
I think I might and I'm not even one of the students for that class.
I'm going to say things like, I meant to be loud crashing through the bushes so the students knew where their instructor was. I don't know why they were loud going through the bushes. Yell at them some more.
Take their food now.
I will tell you this with that Wolverine Warfare. The day after class is over, well, there's a workshop, a battle drills workshop the day after class over. The day after that, I am putting pen to paper to start plotting the next Wolverine Warfare, which will be in the fall of 2026. So it'll give me a good 16 months of planning because I want that one to be cold.
Watch it be like an Indian summer that year.
Be October and be like 82 degrees.
We'll have people falling out from dehydration.
I'll be one of those ones where like, yeah, the sun's up, it's 80 degrees out, and then the sun goes down and it's 34.
Yeah.
Everyone wakes up frosted.
Make everything wet during the day. Fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Perfect.
It'd be awesome.
What else we got? Any questions tonight? Like on the
I didn't see any in the chat that we didn't get to while it was going on. I may have missed some. Tom says we're all wrong. We have to do a live and post our bill drills.
Yes. Yes.
I got a timer.
As a wise man once said, the closest thing to an actual gunfight is competition shooting.
Oh, Homestead Medical's here. Chuck Peoples.
What's up, Chuck?
What a great name. I mean, Chuck's manly. But you can be like, what up, peoples? And it sounds like you're just being clever. I don't know Chuck, so hopefully he is not super thin-skinned and now hates me.
No, Chuck.
I mean, let's be honest. People have hated me for less reasons, so
That's just how good of a shot you are. That's all.
that's what it is. That's why it's jealousy.
Performance beats tactics. Yep. As if there isn't fucking performance within tactics.
Yeah, I perform tactics remarkably okay. Seems to work pretty well for me.
Performance beats tactics. That's why we go in at night when they're sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah, the top operators in the world go in the most tactically advantaged time.
Yeah. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to wait for the end of their guard shift at night. We're going to use night vision.
When there's absolutely no moon. You're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna wait 2 weeks
Yeah.
just so that we don't have a shred of light outside.
And also for the next 4 months, we're not going to do anything in that area so they think they're totally safe. And then we'll bring 30 guys. They have 4.
And we're before the whole thing even happens, for weeks leading up to it, we're gonna feed their dogs antifreeze and rust up all of their gates. Like somehow, we'll have insurgents, just find all these little ways to just hinder them as much as possible without them knowing.
We got tape house built right now. That's the same floor plan
And when
as
we
theirs.
start our gunfight, we're going to start it with high explosives. Lots of them.
Because using high explosives is a skill.
Yeah.
Yes. And if all that goes wrong, we got 60 other guys that will come. Don't worry.
And those guys got great bill drill times.
Mm-hmm. Their bill drill are even better, actually. They're doing one R.
That's actually all they know how to do. Like, they don't actually shoot multiple rounds at a time. They just shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot. Like that, they'll never run out of bullets.
BRB stands for Bill Drill, Reload, Bill Drill.
No longer means be right back.
No.
It's a 12-round minimum drill.
Okay.
We could do it with a revolver.
Yeah.
Unless Pete only sends you 5 rounds.
Didn't even send you enough to fill the gun, did he?
He said, I'll send you a cylinder full. And I was like, what fucking cylinder do you think I got?
Yes, we need an AC 130 performance gunship.
Yep. The fucking Bill Drill is
Performance
awesome.
center gunship.
Oh, can anybody tell me what the circumference of the barrels in a minigun are out there? Like, I don't have one fucking handy that I can measure.
You mean the
Or I'm
size
at
of
least
all the
saying that
barrels
so
put
that
together?
nobody raids my house.
A minigun?
Yeah, because you might not be able to do a Bill Drill with a minigun.
Why would you not be able to?
Because all the rounds will hit outside the circle. Because the circle is bigger.
A minigun is a 308. 7.62 by 51, right?
Yeah. I think it's like the M134.
I don't understand. So wait, you're saying that all the rounds would go outside the A zone because of the circumference of the barrels?
Yeah, so if the barrels are this big around and the Bill Drill's a 6-inch circle and that's a 7-inch diameter, everyone would be a miss.
But the barrels spin. It's only the top barrel that shoots.
Yeah, only one of them shoots.
Oh, yeah, that would make much more sense.
I was like, why? You had me Googling that.
I still want to know what the fucking circumference is.
8 inches.
That ain't no 8 inches.
Have you ever shot one?
Yes.
Well,
12 inches.
I didn't, but I kind of held it while my daughter shot it.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got a video on my channel of the guy explaining it, but basically he re-engineered the minigun. It's a really interesting video, honestly. I was like, oh wow, like everything he said, I just asked another question. But like even like I asked, like, why didn't the guys in Somalia just grab the minigun and everything that came towards them? He explained it. But like he redesigned the minigun, integrated a silencer onto it. And so it's basically the world's best minigun, right? And then they're at Suppressor Fest and they're like, hey, we're going to let the kids shoot the rest of the ammo. And I was like, Hadley, come on, you're going to get to shoot a minigun. She went, oh, Dad, I don't want to shoot the minigun. I'm like, you're shooting the fucking minigun. Come with me right now.
If I had an opportunity like this as a kid.
I'm like, you don't know how cool it is, that the shit that you can do.
It's funny. It's funny seeing like Gary's son come to classes because he has no idea what people do to like make it to these classes. Like the amount of money that people have invested into training to go to classes where they like take this level of training. He has no like he's had thousands or at least hundreds of hours of free like high caliber training.
Yeah.
And he not that he doesn't appreciate it. I think he's learned to appreciate it recently. But like when he was younger, it's like it's just what Dad does.
Yeah, he didn't get it. Now, when like he shot a suppressed fuck. I can't remember which which model he shot. I'm looking it up.
Rich, just look for the Search Combat Art Training minigun. I forget the name of the company right now. Fuck, I can probably find out. Oh wait, I have a computer in front of me. Derp. Okay, hang on. Oh, DTV Arms. So the video is called Chris Paulson, DTV Arms and DTV Tactical Innovations, new minigun, a minigun with a silencer. Posted 2 years ago. It's really cool. I made him some like wraps that go over the the shoe, I think it's called, that the rounds feed through. I made the covers for their 338 Norma Magnum, I think it was. I don't know, something like that. Some crazy big round, doing it for SOCOM and stuff. No, it's his own design. It's based off the 7.62 minigun. So yeah, I think the 134, if I remember correctly. But like he redesigned it. It's really cool. Check out that video if you want to nerd out on some gun stuff.
All right, so Benjamin got to shoot a M240L that was suppressed, and I think that was the first time that he was like, this shit's really cool."
Yeah, 240 is my favorite machine gun. Like if I were putting a gun on a vehicle, of course a minigun is cooler, but like practically wise, I would want a 240 because you can take it off and use it also.
Dude, you ain't ever seen Predator? You can take a fucking
minigun
and
let me see you take the ammo with you. Even like fucking
you gotta have a backpack
cal
of never-ending ammo. That's all.
50 cal linked is retarded heavy. And you don't get that much. That's like we had 50s in Yemen, but I was almost like, it kind of makes more. I think it makes more sense to just have 240s on everything, especially Yemen, because it's like it would have been, like sure you could stop vehicles better with it, but like trying to actually aim 50 cal iron sights, where at least the 240s had machine gun day optics, basically a couch for machine guns. And you could pick it up and move it, and you don't have to time the fucking barrel with a tool, Like 50 cal, sure they can do more damage, like not like they ever gave us miniguns, but like a 240 is just a super practical, fucking great machine gun, runs really well. But
fucking thing's been around for like 100 years.
Yeah. But one thing, when I was in Afghanistan, I picked up a PKM for my first time. I was like, what are we doing? This is half the weight. I'm like, why don't we just make that and not have the only thing I don't like about PKM is like, if you like hold it like that and there's a round chamber, the round can fall out. If I remember correctly, I've never shot one, but like, that's the only thing I didn't like about it. And the belt doesn't disintegrate. It doesn't break apart as you shoot. But it's fucking way lighter. So like if I had to patrol with one, I would want the PKM.
You should have one for the patrolling class that you're doing in a week and a half.
That would be nice.
So you can show everyone how awesome it is
if enough people sign up where I can buy one and still make money off the class, I'll do that.
We should. Well, hopefully enough people sign up that you can compare the PKM to a 240.
Yes. Like my wife doesn't prevent me from buying guns, but if I did buy a 240 and not make any money off the class, I think I would feel like an asshole. Actually, I have a buddy I was in the Marine Corps with. His brother, I think he lost his legs, and but he got badass money for losing his legs, and he bought a 240 Golf at a gun show, and his wife got home and found out about it, and she was pissed, but he was like, "No, look at it." I'm like, he's not wrong, you know.
All right, fellas. So we've been here for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, this is way past your bedtime.
Yeah, but I was waiting at 7. I've been here longer.
You didn't even have the link at 7.
Yeah, that's your fault. You're supposed to post
I
it
sent you the
again
link
so
at
I see
12:30. 12:30 it said.
Yeah, but then I didn't see it, and I sent you like 2 other things, and I didn't. Now it's your fault.
Oh, Adam says he could borrow 249 for class.
You could. It's not
Well,
really
249, but
hey, those are. It's still cool.
it's a semi version, not the full auto version. That's the only gun that I absolutely on demand could move my finger faster than the gun could fire. I know, right?
A saw?
Yeah, the semi-auto saw cycles like whatever they did to make it semi-auto only does not make the trigger snappy. It's like I had to wait for it so I could press it again.
Huh.
Did they
At least the only one that I ever shot. So
I've only shot
an FRT yet for a 249.
What's that?
Did they make an FRT trigger yet for a 249?
I wish they did.
That would be cool.
I will say, if you have the belt-fed fight light upper, it does work with a FRT trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it.
So, is the patrolling class an overnight thing? No, but there is a low light patrol. The main purpose of it is to show you how fucking hard it is to move at night, and all the shit that you learn in the day. You have to super really hard apply once it gets dark.
And the patrolling class has free lodging.
Yeah, well, you can camp on site. The building's not ready.
Oh, it's not done yet. He showed me a picture of it. I figured it had to be just about ready to go.
Yeah, you can camp on site though. That he's totally cool with that. But yeah, it's a 2-day class. There's classroom stuff. It's kind of like we'll do some classroom stuff, immediately go out and do that stuff. Then we'll come back to do a little bit of classroom, go out and do that stuff, and kind of like that's like the compound learning, the way it works in there. And of course, each time we go out on patrol after, you want to keep doing all the stuff you're doing. Good luck to the night patrol leader.
Well, so let me ask you this, Andrew.
Everything's fucking hard in that for the night patrol, and light NDs are especially hard. And last time we ran that class, we wouldn't have had a light ND if it weren't for me, because I took my gun, the one gun that has a pressure switch on it, and I literally have that just so I have a gun to practice with a pressure switch in case I pick up someone else's and fucking my arm touch the damn thing. But usually pressure switches are the thing that cause light NDs in that class.
Well, you know what the thing that usually causes light NDs is? People not giving a shit about light NDs.
That too.
I mean, holy shit. I mean, I know we're about to wrap this thing up, but if I could point out one thing that just grinds my fucking gears, it's when people are handling rifles and then lights just go off and they don't automatically think that that is a fucking cardinal sin. Like if they ND a fucking light, it could be as dangerous as NDing a fucking gun in certain situations, and they just look at it as like, well, that's just what my gun does when I pick it up. It's like, holy shit! Like, you didn't intend to do that. Like, what do you need to change to make that gun stop doing that?
Yeah.
The last time we did a night shoot with white lights, there were people somewhere out on that mountain shooting that weren't us. And I said, and like dude's like, pow, pow, pow. And we all looked around. I was like, does anyone know where that is? Like, nope. I said, earlier when Shinde went to his truck and all the lights lit up, did everyone know where Shinde was? Yep. I said, so what's more dangerous to you, having a white light ND or a live round ND? And they were like, oh. I'm like, yeah, we knew somebody was on this mountain when a gun went off. We knew exactly where somebody was when the light went off.
Oh, yeah. Even like in the patrolling class, a story I always tell, like noise discipline is huge, right? Like in Okinawa, or no, Japanistan, Fuji, on Mount Fuji, we're doing a thing where it's like, okay, there's Op 4 out there. You know, we want your squad to go set up here. So we set up. And when we got attacked, talking to them after, they're like, oh, yeah, we heard someone extend their bipods. We knew exactly where you were. And it was those, like, the spring-loaded Harris bipods where you press the button and they just shoot out. Guys that just have a habit of that where they're like, oh, I'm setting down my rifle. Click, click, set it down, right? And so that, someone sneezing, you know, Velcro, all that shit, fucking light discipline and noise discipline are huge. And also, like, motion. Like, someone could, you know, you might be patrolling at night. Someone could literally shine a flashlight towards you. One of the worst things you might do is fucking try to move out of the light.
Yeah, don't do that thing where you're like standing next to a tree and you go, you know, behind the tree, like there's somebody behind that fucking tree. Like,
yeah,
I know a couple of dudes that had a observation post set up in the dark and a car parked with their headlights directly on them. They all fucking froze, and like 15 minutes later, that dude drove away, having no idea that he had his light shining on half a dozen guys 25 yards from him,
directly in their headlights.
Yeah,
like you know, people are usually paying attention mostly based on the situation. So it's like I've had it where it was like a land nav, you know, but we're like, car's coming, let's just like not get spotted. That's cool, you know, it's fun. So we just literally like went in the ditch on the side of the road, and the car pulled up like right, like we're on each side. Car pulled up right in between us, the Humvee, and guys got out, went, did their stuff, got back in, and it was like we're just a couple yards away from them. No one noticed, you know. But the interesting one that I'd like to research and find more science on, and apparently hunters talk about this, but like, you know, like how if like sometimes you feel like you're being stared at, and you look over and there's a motherfucker staring at you. I think there's an actual like energy that's emitted from that. And I've heard that like deer hunters will say like, hey, don't focus too much on him, or else he's going to fucking know. And because I know, like I've picked up on it when people were staring at me. I also, you know, believe in the demonic and spiritual realm too. And I think that when you get those heebie-jeebies of like, oh fuck, don't feel right, there is something watching you. But try it at a restaurant.
Oh, I know exactly.
And just stare at
I've
someone.
seen the same results. I believe that there's a more a less mystical explanation for it, in that your much more powerful subconscious mind has used some of those senses that you have and went, something's out of whack. And then you used your eyes consciously to go, what is different? Oh, motherfucker's staring at me.
Man, the subconscious mind is there, and there's a book by Gavin DeBecker called The Gift of Fear where they talk a lot about that and how that interacts too. But it's like
the subconscious mind is a supercomputer. The conscious mind is a solar powered watch.
I've also had it where it was like zero stimulus. There's two occasions I can recall where that like I'm like there was no stimulus.
There was no conscious
zero
stimulus.
Fucking stimulus. Yeah, but it was like the other story I talk about another time. But like one time I was working at a gun shop, and it was a big one, and now it's a chain. But like there was no one in the store. It was super quiet, and I was just talking with one of the other guys, and I just got this weird feeling, and I look over, and I couldn't hear him, but the guy was over at the counter talking to the lady at the register, and I just like didn't have a good feeling on the guy. There's nothing. I didn't hear anything. Like I didn't even know anyone else was in the building. I didn't see anything, and then I was like, I don't feel right about this dude, and so I positioned myself to shoot him in the side of the head if I needed to, for like just strictly feeling. And then it turned out later, found that like they ended up denying the guy training because apparently on another occasion he was like screaming at someone on the phone and then punching the fuck out of his window and shit. But I found out about that totally after. Didn't know anything about the guy. And like for real, there was zero fucking stimulus. Like I was bullshitting with my friend on the other side of the store. And yes, I agree with the supercomputer thing, but it was there. And so, like I said, try it at a restaurant. Stare at someone who's not facing you and see if they just eventually look back. I'd like to see more on it, but I think it's an energy thing too.
I do love talking to you about the mysticism, mostly because you're so excited. Like you're a true believer
in everything.
It's like the when I watch Ancient Aliens, I love that show. Can't say I believe a whole lot of what goes on the show, but the fellas that they interview for the show are so committed to believing in their cause that like it inspires me to keep watching.
Well, like I said, I think there's an energy there. I think there's a thing where it's like you can sense someone putting their focus on you. The demonic realm, I'm like, I've fucking seen it. So like, and I wasn't the only person who saw them. So that's where I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm a believer on that. That's like what made me a Christian, was like seeing fucking demons. So
you hear that, Tom? He's peeked into the warp. I think Tom and I are the only two that like are 40K nerds. So,
oh, I know what the warp is. Yes, there actually there's a lot of theology that goes into 40K.
Weird. There's not really like a altruistic God in 40K, but there are a bunch of demons. And I was well, that I can believe in. All bad guys, no good guys. I'm like, that's the ticket. That's believable.
There might be like God might actually be in 40K. There's so many books, it's like hard to say yes or no. The Emperor is their main jam, like Tom said, but oh, it's Rich Albie a 40K nerd? What the fuck?
I can usually hang with the nerddom, but man, feel so out of place whenever you guys start going into fucking 40K.
Get rid of your Legos. Buy 40K.
I'm
Get into
telling you
that.
right now.
That's what you need.
Tom was right earlier when we were talking about books. He says, get them to read Horus Rising. You could just start with Horus Rising, which is really technically 30K and not 40K. But I also thought it was a great book that covered the ideals of martial brotherhood.
Well, I'll just read Gates of Fire for that.
Also a great
Also
book.
a good book.
Great. Gates of Fire has so much more mindset to it than Martial Brotherhood that I almost forget that part's in there.
Yeah. Have you read that one, Andrew? Put it at
No,
the
I have
top of the
not.
list, bro. Like the
What-
top.
Okay.
Yep.
What is that one about? Like, where's it set?
It's the story of the 300, and
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
it's but there's a reason why they put it as like one of the recurring reading lists for West Point. Like it is
I think it's on everybody's reading list that has a reading list.
Yeah.
I have it on Kindle. It was on the reading list for Yemen. We never got around to reading it. First, when we got to Yemen, they were like, our platoon commander was like, we're going to read books like while we're here. And then they gave us so much fucking bullshit to do that eventually that fucking thank God died. Plus, they took away electronics from us. And I was like, okay, so how do you want me to read these since I bought everything on Kindle?
I will say, if you want to listen
They're
to
like,
it,
well, you can use a Kindle. I'm like, I don't own a Kindle. I own a laptop.
I did the audiobook.
Because why would I buy
if
a
you
second
leave
one?
Bloomsburg, PA in the morning and drive to Camden, Tennessee, you can listen to the entire audiobook in one drive.
Of Gates of Fire? All right, I'll download that. Is it like a good voice though? Because there's some books that I've tried listening to the Audible version. I'm like, I fucking hate this voice so much that I can't listen to it.
That one's good. Yeah,
obviously, I don't recall it being bad. I own it on Audible, Kindle, and paperback. So
it's not. It's not. It's totally the opposite side of the spectrum from trying to listen to like what's the National Health Advisor's name? The Kennedy, like trying to listen to him narrate a book. No, thank you. Like that, I tried doing that once and it didn't work. I quit. Or I tried listening to a podcast with that guy and I couldn't do it.
It's tough to listen to. My eyes water.
Yeah, but
have you read Paul Howard's book or listened to it?
This one, because I bet you.
It was another one where I don't know. Maybe I was just got bored. And
was it his
like
first
it now,
book,
but...
Leadership and Training for the Fight?
I'd have to look. Let me get this downloaded first.
Because I have his second book right here, also out of print. And it is fan-fucking-tastic, by the way.
Okay.
For instance,
Violence of Mind and Beyond OODA Loop are also on Audible, and they're read by Varg Freeborn, the guy who wrote them. Like, especially like, okay, guys who like Sonny will love those books. Guys who have not trained with Sonny yet, like, it's like kind of a great introduction to a similar way of thinking. In some ways, not every way, but they're different people, of course. But it's like I found it like aligned with them. I'm hoping to meet Varg and do a video with him. He actually used to teach at the gym that I teach Gunfight Club at. So like I'm one person away from him.
Yep.
You know, I have a connection there that I can make it happen.
To tell you how great for the people not necessarily watching this live stream, but the people that are in it, I opened Paul's second book. It opened to page 74, and the topic is developing a curriculum.
Oh, wow. Oh, I have, it was Leadership and Training for the
Fight. That was his first book. I have that one too.
But that other one's better, you think?
If you want to train people how to fight with a gun, this book is awesome. You could, like, You could probably make an instructor development class and make this the fucking textbook for it.
Now, the funniest book. Oh, shit. I didn't want to download it again. No, don't do that. Stop. Cancel download. We Few by Nick Brockhausen. Yep. It's about Mac v. Sog in Vietnam, but it is the funniest book I have ever read / listened to. Like, in the very beginning, he's trashing on one of the other soldiers for being Irish. And he he referred to like that pile of mashed potato, that pile of mushed potatoes between his ears. He calls a brain, like shit like that through the whole thing. It was hilarious.
What's it called again?
We Few by Nick Brockhausen. Brokhaeusen. It is hilarious. And there's some good shit in there. Some really good shit.
$18 on Amazon. Also $18 for a used version on Thrift Books.
Or 1 credit on Kindle.
I don't got 6 years to listen to it, so. Oh wait, on Kindle. Kindle doesn't have credits.
Or fucking Audible.
Audible.
Yeah, my Kindle, the one you can listen to.
Yeah, I can't get through any books on Audible.
You could speed it up.
I know, but I can't hear at 800 words a minute. I can hear at like 180.
Adam Hall did not like Varg reading it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I think he reads at like a little bit slower pace, but it's a very digestible way for me listening to him. There's some books that I thought like I can't fucking listen to this guy talk, and that was like it was more business type ones like I think Laws of Success and Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill books, which are really good.
Can't say I even heard of them.
And if you want to get into more of the weird stuff that I'm into, like Think and Grow Rich, that one, How to Win Friends and Influence People, they're like ones that like most business guys will recommend. And there's really good lessons in there. Think and Grow Rich has a lot on manifestation, which you've heard me talk about, I'm sure.
Yes. All right, ladies, what do you think? We're 2 hours in.
Yeah,
I got another 2 in me. Let's go.
I'm ready to go to bed.
me too. I got a Mac v Sog logo. I gotta revectorize.
Yeah, what are you doing that for?
So my POW bracelet at the last night shoot, I broke it, putting steel targets in my truck. It got hooked on the steel target when I threw it in, and it's aluminum, and it broke. It cracked it, like it bent it too far open. So I got to get a replacement. And I had it had Jerry Shriver's name and information on the middle, and then on one side it had the POW logo, and on the other side it had the SF logo because he was a fifth group guy. But
did you know him, or
he disappeared 5 years before I was born? But when I was 14, I randomly picked his bracelet out of a box to help fund the Vietnam Veterans Moving Wall, which was coming through the area. So then I found out later he was a bad ass motherfucker, and was like, oh, well, how fortuitous. So when my red bracelet when it got so bent that I couldn't squeeze it to make it fit, I bought a stainless one. After like 6 years of that, it hurt too bad to wear it because the stainless was not easy to shape like the aluminum. So I bought a gold one, and then the gold one I just broke after like 15 years. So I'm ready to replace it. And I decided instead of the SF logo, I'm going to do the Mac V SOG logo in its place. And I needed somebody, someone more talented than myself, to make that into a format that worked for engraving.
Hell yeah. Very good. Well, reminder before we sign off, Combatter Summit, Corbin, Kentucky, 27th through 28th of September. The day before, we're doing Art of the Bad Guy. Gary has a discount code. I have a discount code. And Mike has a discount code. So if you trained with any one of us, you can ask us, hey, how do I get $100 off? They'll send you a discount code. And then, wow, you're going to help that guy too. He's going to get a bonus.
Yeah, so pick whichever
bonus
instructor
money.
you like the most and help that dude out.
Yes. It's my birthday. Just kidding.
I'm closest to the grave.
I'm the most likable. I don't know.
But yeah, sign up. These guys will be there. Y'all got questions? Let me know.
Awesome. Well, you all take it easy.